Good evening. Better late than never. You're watching the Cheese Room podcast. Joining me, the caller, tonight in the Cheese Room, I've got some esteemed guests. Well, some esteemed, some not so. And I'm going to go through those right now for you. So joining us, looking rather glam, firstly, Cheese Room Shan. How are you, Cheese Room Shan?
It's because I had to go to work today, which we're not going to talk about because I spent 5 hours trying to get home because of the M25 and the M11 and the A1 were all shit with traffic today. So, yeah, it ruined my mood. And then I got home to a shitload of work because obviously it took me 5 hours to get back. So I'm on the rosé. So apologies in advance for what may come out of my mouth at some point this evening.
Oh, dear. Well, people love it when you're drinking and on the show. So do please keep glugging, and maybe if we get to 100 likes, you'll sing us a song. No,
I can't promise. I can't promise it'll be sung very well,
but we'll go for that. So if you are watching, do like. She'll sing a song at 100 likes. All the way from Austria, as ever, everyone's favourite Vienna resident. It's HG. How are you, HG?
I think it's because the only other famous Vienna resident is probably Hitler. So, yeah, I win that one.
You do share a lot of traits.
I kind of want you to continue, but you probably shouldn't. I'm doing all right. Austria's great. I'm off work for the next 10 days. Thank you, half term. So life is good.
Literally, you are never at work. What is going on?
HG, you've just reminded me that I agreed to do overtime tomorrow as well.
Yeah, well, you're welcome.
HG, do you like Shan's light? It's brighter than the sun.
It's brighter than my future, to be honest.
Oh, ouch.
And we'll park that right there. Joining us,
Jackie, you watching? Are you watching, Jack?
Making his Cheese Room YouTube channel debut. I am honoured to have a special guest back. Vlad, how are you, sir?
Hello, Connor. How are you? It's a nice day. I want to say some things. Shen, you must never apologize for what is come out of your mouth. Caller, on the other hand, you must apologize for what is going to your mouth. Yes, it is an honor to be here on the YouTube sensation Caller's show. I am looking forward very much to chat to you all about the Tottenham and many other things. Thank you for having me back.
It's always a pleasure to have you back, Vlad. And
it's a pleasure to have me anywhere, of course, Caller.
Absolutely. And also joining us from the South Coast, here's John. How are you, John, Marathon Man?
I'm very well, thank you. A little bit croaky of the voice. But yeah, good week. Ready to talk about the Pikey boys.
Is this proof?
There is a cure for this sore throat business, John. I can show you some pictures if you are like.
I might avoid that, thanks.
Whatever.
John, is this sore throat proof that running is not good for you?
Possibly. That and working a lot. Working late nights are never good.
Working late nights and phone parties and things like that in the Zanzibar or whatever it's called. Zanzibar, is it?
Z-Bar.
Z-Bar. There you go. I think Zanzibar was the local discotheque when I was a child.
Back in 1934?
How old are you? Discotheques of Stone Age.
39. Thanks for watching the show.
Over 50.
Cut it off. Make me mute you, Vlad. You've only been going a minute. If you're watching from home tonight, do drop us a comment. Think about leaving a super chat. And grab your channel membership subscription today. You get a little baby Nuno emoji. Wow, what could be better than that? And if that's not enough, a Son Heung-min one as well. Let us know your thoughts in the chat, and we will get through as many as we can during the show. We've got a blockbuster show for you tonight. Loads of stuff to talk about. It is, of course, the Caravan Cup final this weekend. West Ham's absolute one-a-season, one-off game. They get to play in front of a full crowd. Very socially distanced around the pitch, and they get very overexcited about it. So let's get straight into it. West Ham having their best season of all time, according to the press, but currently lie just behind us in 7th place. Vlad, how are you feeling about this tie? Should we be worried about the Caravan Club?
I am surprised they are play any kind of good football. They have Mr. Ginger Moyes, who is just a very boring man, and somehow he has them playing okay. I think if we were play like they are, we would all be quite happy. So it is a concern. But I think the important thing is to stop rice. If you stop the rice, it is all over. It is like China. You stop the rice, everything stops.
Shan, you all right there, Shan?
Shan is a Vlad virgin, so this is hard
to take. Shan, who are the danger men? Who should we be worried about apart from Vlad?
Definitely Vlad. Yeah, I agree. Declan Rice, and I reckon Mikel Antonio as well. And oh god, Jared Bowen. I think he's a bit of a concern. I wish we signed him. Oh god, the name's gone. It's gone from my brain. The cells are dying. Who?
The what?
You're welcome for making all the names disappear from your head. It's okay.
Yeah.
4 hours is one.
No, who scored the? I don't want to talk about
Rama.
No, the guy that.
Bobby
He went to Giovanni Lo Celso's Christmas party.
Oh,
he scored the blinder against us at the lane.
Lanzini.
Yeah, that's it.
He's not even in the team. I have not seen him for 20 years or so.
But he'll probably come on again and have an absolute blinder. So that's how it works, isn't it?
He only ever pops up when unfortunately we play them. A bit like a few of their other players. HG, your danger men. Do you agree with Shan? Is that the outlook for the game? Worry about Antonio and all those other chaps.
All those other chaps.
Well, yes, she mentioned half the team, to be fair. So
look, Antonio. He scores most of their goals. He's the biggest threat. Like if he's not playing, that's a big boon for us. So you'd have to think that that Antonio is the main guy. Plus, he scores against Spurs pretty much all the time. Scored in front of you, didn't he, Caller? When they beat us 1-0.
They made a T-shirt. They actually made a T-shirt saying we scored the first goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
They also made a documentary about coming back from 3-0 down to get a point at the new stadium. So what do we really expect from them lot, really?
H, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I mean that's it. Antonio.
No, give me more of your analysis, please, H. I miss it very much.
Well, I mean, the season that we were extremely good, that one season seems so long ago. They beat us 1-0 at their stadium, and Antonio got the goal that night too. It's just, he likes to score against Spurs. There's always one, and as far as West Ham are concerned, it's him. So, Antonio has to be the biggest danger man. And for a guy who's 30, 31 now, to have the career he's had and become the main striker, it's a pretty good career. Just wish he didn't score against Spurs.
John,
the Saudi game, yes, there is Joe Linton who always is scored against Spurs and he does not score. So perhaps times are changing, HG. Perhaps Antonio does not score and we are beat them 6-0 and everyone is happy.
Yeah, perhaps. No.
We like the 6-0 prediction, but we'll come on to that absolutely in good time, Vlad.
Of course, if I go too early, I'm so sorry.
Don't come early.
I feel like HG here.
Of course, there's always, if you like the show, we get more people to watch. There's 33 people watching already. We've got 16 likes on the board. If we get to 100 likes, I'm reliably told by my run sheet that Vlad will sing Wings of Change by the Scorpions.
Fantastic.
Good choice, lad.
I look up the words as we are speak.
Okay, good stuff. Let's get to 100 likes then. Let's do it. John, what do you think about West Ham? Why is this their cup final? I mean, of all the teams in London to pick on, why Spurs?
Well, I guess we're closer than Arsenal and Chelsea to them, aren't we? We had a lot of transfers over the years, I don't know, and we've beaten them quite a lot over the years. That's probably why. Always been a bit above them generally.
Well, we've beaten Everton a lot of times over a number of years, but they don't.
Yeah,
seem
but
to-
they're not local, are they?
Well, not
You're not
West Ham,
local a
really.
lot.
They're in Stratford.
Yeah,
They're still relatively local, aren't they? In the grand scheme of things.
HG, have you got a theory of this?
Yes. Look, if West Ham want to hate a London team, then they can hate Arsenal and Chelsea because they win stuff. But like hating Spurs, I think a lot of it is just you think you're better than us, but you don't do anything with it. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from. I genuinely think they see themselves as Spurs' equal because they also win fuck all, and they're not. In pretty much every way, they're not. So it's a bit galling for them that they're looking to find someone to fight with.
Yeah.
And Spurs are the most obvious challenger because why would you bother with Charlton or Millwall or anyone that's in that area? So
Well, you wouldn't pick a fight with Millwall.
No, West Ham certainly
the rivals should be Leyton Orient. No, they are the closest club and perhaps the closest in stature as well.
Yeah,
it's true.
There you go.
And Leyton Orient own their stadium, I believe. So straight away they're probably a bigger club than West Ham on that basis.
Yes, but there are just 3 seats in this stadium. Yes,
3 seats is better than no seats in your own stadium.
There's only 3 seats they can see from the pitch. I think that's what it is.
They've got flats there as well at Leyton Orient, haven't they, in the corner? You can buy a flat and actually have a balcony overlooking the ground.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's quite appealing, actually.
Cool, save it up for that.
Yeah, mention this to Steve Diver.
I was going to say, Stevie Diver should have gone for one of them, apart from overlooking that toilet down the road.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right, Shan. Shan, how do you think Nuno's going to line up? I mean, we'll come on to the midweek in all due time and the shambles that was Thursday night. But do you think he's going to line up pretty similar to last weekend at Newcastle?
It's going to be the same 11 because they've all stayed at home, and none of them tossers last night did themselves any justice, did they, to actually push themselves into the starting 11. So it's just going to be the same 11 as Newcastle, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Never change your winning team, right?
I love this comment, Dean. To be fair, I've got a Spurs 5, Arsenal 1 mug. Yeah, that's different, Dean. That's us. We're allowed to do things like that. It's fine. No problem at all. No problem at all. Dave Harris says, who bless him, he wrote the run sheet. Vlad, I've got some microwaves in the lockup. I need to move on quickly. Any thoughts?
Mr. Harris, I am only sell tanks and crack cocaine. I do not know how you use crack cocaine in a microwave. I cannot help you. But Seb, he is a Del Boy and he can sell absolutely anything. You must call him.
That's true. That's true. John, in your view, is it similar to Shan's on the starting 11? Do you think it'll be the same lineup pretty much?
Oh, yeah, I think we'll match them up 4-2-3-1, exactly the same team. I can't see any reason why I'd change unless there's an injury or something.
Which, with Spurs, is possible, isn't it? Okay. Vlad, have you and Svetlana ever been to Upton Park or the London Stadium for a game?
I have not been to the London Stadium, but I am take Svetlana to the bowling ground. I think is the correct name for this place. It is a very intimidating place. There are lots of caravans parked around this, and people are shout very much, and they are get behind their team. I think the great thing about the London Stadium is when they are get behind their team, you still cannot hear them because they are somewhere over near Watford, I think.
In the next postcode, yeah, absolutely. Completely agree. HG, love this question. Would you prefer the Dildo Brothers or Enoch to own your club?
The Dildo Brothers?
Yeah,
Shan,
do you not?
Don't say you don't know.
It is a sexual device, Shen. A
Shan is suddenly very
device
interested.
Which looks like HG's head.
Literally, our eyes lit up then. Do you know what we're talking about, Shan?
No.
Right,
Okay.
HG, explain.
All right, so Shan, so the owners of West Ham are called David Sullivan and Gold. What's his first name? I don't know. David Gold, maybe?
I know that, but what's
And,
that
well, yeah,
called?
but they made their money through porn, through shifting porn. So we affectionately call them the Dildo Brothers, as opposed to the Gimp Brothers, which are 2 other brothers.
No.
But yeah,
What's wrong with making money through pornography, HG?
well, yeah, I know you were blessed to do that, Vlad, back
Is
in
it
the day.
because you are scared that you have funded West Ham somehow?
This is it. That is always a danger, isn't it? So anyway, back to the question, HG. Now we've satisfied Shannon's imagination and curiosity. Who would you rather have owned in your club? What's your thoughts on their ownership of West Ham? They've actually done not a bad job, haven't they?
Oh, well, they got a stadium for free on very cheap rent. But yeah, they also employ Mrs. Pesky Solido. So on that basis alone, I think I'd rather have ENIC, frankly. I mean, like West Ham, it's weird. Like the owners have been good and bad for them, just like ours. They took them away from Upton Park, which I don't think, there aren't too many West Ham fans that like the new stadium, that really want to be there. They wish it was not a running track. But yeah, I'd have to keep ENIC because West Ham have won even less than ENIC have. So we'll stick with ENIC, won't we?
Let's chuck this one round the room because it's an interesting debate and it comes up often. John, ENIC or the Dildo Brothers?
I have to agree with HG. You have to stick with ENIC. As bad as they've been at times, they're not going to be as bad as Gold and Sullivan.
Let us know your thoughts on this in the comments, guys, if you're watching along tonight. I would say vote using emojis, but I don't know what you'd use. Use your imagination. Vlad, what say you? Dildo or ENIC?
As you know, Collar, I love a dildo as much as the next man, except when the next man is HG, then I'm way behind. But I think I would prefer to have Daniel Levy and his little white cat. He sits and strokes in the boardroom. I think they have given us a far better stadium than the cheap one down the road that perhaps we would go for at one time. Yes, ENIC every day. I am love Daniel Levy. He is my best friend.
Oh God, don't know how long you're going to last on this channel.
Vlad will always last a long time.
Shan, same to you. Same
Firstly, I just want to address this with Dave because I don't know why he keeps making Adele references.
He thinks you look like Adele, clearly.
Especially tonight.
Or talk like Adele, I don't know.
Is that before or after she lost the weight, Caller? You know you love Adele.
I do. Yeah. Look, Adele was literally the biggest female artist on the planet, and now she's just the biggest female artist on the planet. So there you go.
Very nicely done, Caller. Yeah, every day of the week, Daniel Levy and ENIC for me.
We are all such Levy inners. I mean,
Levy lovers, a lot of you.
Don't you know that Daniel Levy actually he funds the cheese room, doesn't he? So we've all got to say how much we love Daniel Levy.
I tell you what, if he does, I want to know where my season ticket money's going. Actually, I know that already.
Have you seen Franco's house? This is where your money is going.
It's true. He lives in a castle, bless him. John, let's talk Moyes. However much we dislike West Ham, he's done a good job there, hasn't he? Has he restored his reputation, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's done a really good job. They made the Dildo brothers made the mistake getting rid of him. I know Dave's commented saying, "Oh, they brought him in after Pellegrini," but they should have kept him. He had really turned them around that season, and he's pushed on since he's come in. He's made some really good signings, really sensible signings. Not spent loads of money, and has got the owners to back him now a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have accepted him, would we? I don't think, as Spurs fans. But I think he would have done a good job for us, and he's definitely got back to where he was at Everton. I think United was probably the wrong time going after Ferguson, no one was going to succeed.
Well, they were set up to fail, I think, because the team was at the end of its cycle, wasn't it, when Fergie sort of left them? But who knows? HG.
He also signed Fellaini, so it's kind of his own fault. Let's be honest, but. David Moyes is what David Moyes is, in the same way that Allardyce is and Tony Pulis is. Like, what they're good at, what he's going to do. The difference with this time is that the Everton teams that he had that were very good, they were extremely functional. This West Ham team's not just that. They can play some football, and so I think it probably is the best side that he's ever had. He may not get as high as what he did with Everton that one year where I think they finished fourth.
Yeah.
But this West Ham 11, I mean, it is really the first 11. But they're a decent side, and they're probably where Spurs were in 2013, 2014, and They'll lose a couple of their better players and have to try and reinvest. But I mean, that's what you need to do if you want to become one of the big boys. You're going to see your players taken, and hopefully you can then grow on from there. And hopefully they won't, but that's what they'll be thinking at least.
It is a surprise, though, now, HT, that they are play some football, because West Ham are not for many years a football side. And when Moyes first comes in, he's played to stop the other teams, no? But I think the best thing that he does is he takes no ball out of the midfield. Then all of a sudden they can put somebody in who can kick a ball instead of kick a man. This is a big difference.
No, it is a really big difference. I mean, it's weird because, I mean, John talked about West Ham when they sacked Moyes. Like, the fans hated him. Right, the fans treated Moyes as if the same way that the Newcastle fans treated Steve Bruce. They didn't like him. They thought he was a bit of a patsy. They wanted to see, more attacking football. They were thrilled when Pellegrini was signed because they thought they were going to do that. They went out and signed, Felipe Anderson for big money. They went out and made some flashy signings, and within 18 months they went back to Moyes, and we've all seen how good they are. So it's. It's a shame. I don't like talking about how good West Ham are, although I am quite happy that they're the favourites for once. I almost feel as if Spurs have very little to lose this time around, and that's probably the reason that I hate West Ham games so much, is that we can't win. We can only lose, and in this case, I feel like if we get something from the game, it's going to reflect well on Nuno and the rest of the team.
HG, can you while I've got you? You do have a dislike for West Ham that is right up there with the biggest hates in the world. Think of a massive hate. Shannon going to work, in 50 miles away.
Marmite.
Sorry, Vlad?
Marmite. This brown shit you are spreading on bread in the UK.
Oh, Marmite. Yeah.
It's worse than West Ham.
Exactly. HG, why do you hate West Ham? Sorry, HG, why do you hate West Ham so much? There's the question. Go.
I think it's because, generally speaking, I mean, I see this a lot in the world. There are people out there who their sole pleasure in life is stopping other people from being successful. Right? They can't be successful themselves, but they can actually try and stop others, and that's where they get all their joy. And that has been West Ham from. It's weird because I grew up with some West Ham fans. I've got a really good friend of mine who's West Ham. I liked West Ham when I was a teenager, but pretty much ever since Lasagna Gate, that's when.
I can hear that in your explanation. It's all about spoiling other people's fun, and they revelled in that, didn't they?
Well, I mean, that's all they could do. I mean, they probably thought, Spurs are getting too big for their boots here. We're the same as them, and Spurs are, finishing fourth or fifth mostly in those seasons. And they liked to be the club that inflicted the pain. And as John said, we've stolen quite a few of their players. Certainly in the 2000s, we took Canute, we took Defoe, we took Carrick. We have taken players from West Ham over the years, and ones that ended up being pretty good for Spurs. And so it's partly jealousy. We are their sole reason for living, frankly, and that's why they love it so much, because they don't have anything else to keep them happy.
Well, that's a pretty good explanation, I suppose. But Vlad, what we want to know is, are you still upset at the treatment of Slaven Bilic?
I'm never upset at treatment of Slaven Bilic. The man is take the claret pound, and I do not like this. But I have something I need to address. I'm sorry, I'm not answering your question. I am a bad man, but I am look at the comments, and there is a man called Richie who says that West Ham hate buses. I do not know why he says this, but he is saying already Nuno out. How? No, I am flabbergasted. This is madness. We are just starting to get a little better, and we put away the McVitie's on them game, and this is different. But in the league, we are getting better. We are playing some better football. We are beating teams, and people are going, oh, the nice man with the grey beard must leave. This is like killing Christmas.
That's a very good point. Very good point, well made.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So, Slaven Bilic, happy about that?
Still me. I do not. I thought he did an okay job, but when you are, I think he does this with good players, and once he does not have the good players around him, it how you say in England, it turns to shit.
Yeah, I think the the mistake that the person who's made the run sheet has made is thought you may be Serbian.
Oh, he does not know that I'm Russian.
No, I think he must.
The
have
name
thought
is
you were-
Russian. What is wrong with you? Who makes this run sheet? You have amateurs in charge of this team now.
It's this guy.
I want to go back to the old days where we have better people who know what the fuck they are talking about.
On the
And
cheese room.
HG.
And HG. Right, let's go around the room with some memories. Shannon, have you got any, or Adele, have you got any fond memories of West Ham games?
Oh, this pains me to say it, but my favourite memory is Musa Sissoko squaring up to Noble.
Oh, yeah, that's a good picture. That.
Iconic. I was at work. Do you know what makes my day even worse today? I was at work with a West Ham fan, and he was loving it. He knew obviously we were going meeting at the warehouse, and he turned up in his West Ham top, his West Ham badge on his coat, and he just, as soon as I turned up, he just smiled, and I was like, oh.
They do make you sick, don't they?
And it just made me hate Tottenham that little bit more for the misery they put me through. And he said, if they beat us, he's going to the game. If they beat us, the first thing he'll do is message me. I was like, okay, so come on, Tottenham. If you do anything, please just give me some bragging rights at work, because I don't get them very often.
It's a similar story for me, actually. My ex-boss, who's moved off elsewhere in the country, is a spammer. And he literally rung me up today to say, it's nearly a year to the day since Lanzini slammed that goal in the top corner against you, and we came back to draw 3-3. What's your prediction for the weekend? And then took great pleasure in saying, as always, the rules are, if we win, I'll let you know. If you win, I don't want to hear from you. So there you go. But he is my ex-boss, so he absolutely will hear from me if we do win. HG, memories? Any misty-eyed ones?
Yeah, I mean, I think the obvious ones are the 4-3 in 2007. I saw Brendan on the pod last night talked about I think it was a 1-1 at Wembley when Son scored a rocket from 30 yards or something. It was actually the second worst goal of the game because West Ham's was better. But there are lots of games. We scored 2 in injury time to beat them at White Hart Lane, I think, in the final season there. It's just always nice to get one over West Ham. Any victory against them, even ones where Sissoko crosses to Lamela, are worth celebrating. So,
Can't let Lamela go.
Well, yeah, he got booked in the Champions League. Came on as a sub and got booked, and I was like, there's my Eric. Gotta love him.
There he is.
It will give you a little tingle when you see this, HG, no?
Yeah, it's nice to be him. It's nice to see him be for someone else for a change.
John, any West Ham misty-eyed memories?
Yeah, can you hear me better now?
Yes, much better.
Yeah, okay. The second game I ever went to was in April '88, and Spurs won 3-0, which Naeem scored his first goal for Spurs, so I enjoyed that one. More recently, I was going to say, obviously, the 4-3 game was brilliant. The 3-2 game you mentioned where we would score 2 late on, wasn't that the game when a young man called Winks scored on his debut, HG?
I think so. We have to ask Caller about it. Caller must remember it.
Don't remember it. Don't remember it. No. Harry Winks has never done anything of note.
How many?
Same thing about you, of
Didn't
course.
Harry Winks also score a winner at Fulham, which was his last goal in the league?
This is the Harry Winks show. This is the Cheese Room podcast show. We're not talking about Harry goddamn Winks.
I tell you what,
When we talk about Harry Winks, let me tell you, it'll be how shit he was against Arnhem on Thursday night. John.
Vitesse Arnhem. It's not hard.
It is Arnhem.
That one.
Yeah. So I was going to say that anyway. But yeah, yeah, Dave's made some good points. Just come up there. 86, 87. We had a nice couple of big wins
I
against
weren't
them.
even a sperm then.
And I was barely born. Yeah.
Barely born again, perhaps.
Yeah, the 5-0, Clive Allen scored a hat-trick in about 9 minutes to just knock them out beautifully. But yeah,
there
lots of
were
wins.
a lot of years, of course, when West Ham weren't in the same league as Spurs. We have to remember that. So it's quite difficult to remember, all of the big games because it's only been 3 seasons they were in the Championship.
You mean 1977 when they are not in the same league as us? Is this the one you are talking about?
No, just in general.
Well, there you go. Vlad, your turn. Mist-yard memories of West Ham?
Does Eric Dyer not score against them on his debut?
He did.
Because I love Eric Dyer, and I know that Eric Dyer is love me. So yes, I think for me this was a magic moment. To see him run the whole pitch and score the goal was from he played right back at the time. I think it was fantastic. Enjoy very much, and watching their little hearts break as the ball goes in the net is always a fantastic moment for Vlad.
Absolutely. Richie, bless him, just sent a £5 super chat in. Sorry for the spelling mistake. West Ham hate us, not buses, Vlad. So,
but they are not fans of buses either. I'm telling you how I know this. When they are played their last game at the bowling ground, I think it is Manchester United, and they try and smash up the bus.
No, that's true. Actually,
Vlad knows things.
They're just. To me, West Ham are just a bit of a horrible club, really. My granddad supported West Ham. I think they've gone downhill in the last 20 years. I really do. Maybe it is since Lasagna Gate. I don't know. Anyway, I've got a bit of trivia questions for you. I mean, firstly, there's this beautiful. I'm sure this is all in the delivery, Dave. But what did Appy Amos fans and Michael Jackson have in common?
Nonsense.
They all enjoyed blowing bubbles.
Oh.
I am see what you are doing there.
That's actually quite good, Dave, to be honest. For you.
That's an old joke.
If this is the quality you normally have, this is why you are trying to get Vlad back, no?
Hashtag Vlad back. It's trending.
The money is worth it for you.
Absolutely. How much are we paying you? Just remind me.
I cannot disclose this information, but it is buying some nice things for Svetlana.
Anything we should be aware of?
No, I do not think so. I think if I am show you the large device she has bought recently, you would be a terrified man.
Okay. Right. Here's a question for you. You can play along at home in the chat. While you're playing along in the chat, hit the like button. There's 60 people watching the show right now. I don't know how many likes. It was about 25 or so last time I checked. So do smash that like button. It really does help us to grow the channel. And if you're not already subscribed, do hit the subscribe button while you're there. And play along in the chat with this. So, guys, name some players who have played for both teams, either loan or permanent. So, let's go round. Vlad, who can you think of?
James Peter Greaves.
John?
Martin Peters, then. We're going that far back.
Okay, no, I'm not old enough to go that far back. HG?
Well, nor am I.
Oh, Freddie Canute, because I said him earlier.
Boom. Shan?
Scotty Parker.
Robbie Keane? Vlad?
Oh, it is me again.
Yeah, we're going round.
Okay, Jermaine Defoe. He's a Yido.
He is a Yido. John?
Bobby Zamora.
Bobby Zamora, very good. HG?
Michael Carrick.
Very good. Shan?
Have we done Chrissy Houghton?
No, we
good
haven't.
shout.
No.
Good shout.
I have.
What about... What about Mitchell Thomas? Yeah?
What about Mitchell Thomas?
He plays for both teams.
Oh,
He was awful.
It's back
we are
to
still
you.
doing this.
Back to you, Vlad.
Bloody hell. Can I pass?
Yeah, you can pass, John.
I am passing. Which is better than Wings can do, no?
Absolutely, 100%.
Oh gosh, I can't remember who done. Did Tarico play? He went there and got injured, didn't he? After about a
I
week.
think he did play once, yeah.
Played once, that counts. Brian Daigle saying Paul Konchesky, Gov, Defoe, Paul, Russell, Jimmy Neighbour, Stuart Search, Redbroth. Did Redbroth play for them?
He did. Wait, what are you doing, caller? This is where I'm getting all my names from. Stop reading the comments out.
Sorry.
Teddy Sheringham?
Stop reading the comments.
I'm reading the comments. I want to know
on Dave's
who
run sheet,
Sam
he's
Lee
got
thinks,
Mr. Tumble.
is impersonating.
Yeah, Mr. Tumble's played for both clubs, apparently.
Callum Davenport.
Callum Davenport. What about...
Does he ever play, Callum Davenport? I think that he's injured more than any other player, more than Eric Lamela.
Yeah.
Really? Matt Etherington, I've just seen on there, yeah. Brendan McGurty, as always, better late than never, Teddy. That was 10 minutes ago, but good. What about Razor Ruddock?
I want Dave to explain why Mr. Tumble is on there, because Mr. Tumble is one of my personal favourites, as we all know.
I don't understand why he's one of your personal favourites.
Who did I compare to Mr. Tumble? I can't remember now.
Don't know.
Was it Cooler?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Cooler likes him a little bit older.
What? Where did that even come from? Older than Mr. Tumble? He's about 50.
No. Oh, God.
Move along.
Check yourself before you lose yourself. That's enough of this game. That's loads. Paul Allen, there's another one. Scott Parker. Of course he did.
Scott Parker was said by, I think, HT a long time ago.
I said Scotty Parker. It's the first one I said.
Yeah, you did, Shan. Yeah, you did.
Bruce, Martin Peters, yeah. Loads.
Sorry, Shan, I am get you an HT mixed up. It is an easy thing to do, no?
There's Ferdinand, of course, yeah. Oh, well, look, there's loads of players that have played both. The interesting thing I noticed about all those names, though, is did we have the best years of their career for most of them?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Michael Carrick went on and probably had a few better years at Man United, but Spurs, between Spurs and West Ham, yeah, we had most of the best ones. Can we hope that Matt Doherty will go to West Ham and that Harry Winks will go to West Ham? We'll just put those names out into the ether so we have an idea.
If Harry Winks goes to West Ham, all will be forgotten in my eyes, to be honest.
You all leave Harry Winks alone. He's a beautiful man.
And of course, Redknapp managed both. Very true, Gov. Very true. So, what is the score going to be at the weekend then? Let's do some predictions. Shan, let's go with you first.
In the prediction league, I've gone 3-2 Spurs.
3-2 Spurs. I predict we're going to get to 100 likes if you want to see Shan down a wine and Vlad sing a song. So we're on 35. 62 people watching. Come on, let's get those likes in the bag. It's because you get funnier the more you drink. So people just want to skip to the funny stuff.
Do you really want me to drink more, caller? Because you'll be at your expense.
Yeah, fine. I'll send you a bottle. What? Me sending you a bottle, or are you going to abuse me again?
The abuse.
Okay, yeah, it's fine.
He's like this, though. He's enjoyed the abuse very much.
I can confirm Paula very much does like abuse.
Is Vlad actually Russian? Vlad, are you actually Russian?
Of course I'm Russian. Why do you ask this? This is a crazy question.
There you go.
Do I sound French? I don't know.
HG, score prediction.
I change my mind every second on this one. They're a better team. We've got better players. The team usually wins. So 2-1 West Ham.
HG. Didn't you put that in the prediction league as well?
No,
I know it's in the prediction league.
I don't remember. I think on the pod last night.
3-1 Spurs.
Yeah, see, on the pod last night, I talked about Spurs winning because I got a feeling that we might do it. But logic says 3-1.
Shannon drink.
Who is this madman who is paying your money?
Go is an absolute
Daniel Levy.
Legend. Is Daniel Levy incarnate?
It's Daniel Levy in the comments.
Definitely. Come on, let's get those likes up.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
But I do think we might have to have a little drink. Yeah, there we go. There it goes. Go on, Shan.
Go on, Gav.
Go on, Shan.
Oh my gosh.
We like to drink, me, Shan.
Literally. Well done, Vlad.
It's early morning in Siberia.
So you're saying a defeat then, HG?
I think logically, at their ground, they're playing better. We seem pretty crappy. Yeah, like I mean, we can score more than them. I wouldn't put money on it. I'd put money on West Ham to win it.
Brilliant.
You are a miserable twat.
Yeah, but I was right about predicting what would happen at Vitesse, and I know there are some people who don't like me talking about how right I was, but I was exactly right about that. So miserable twat, yes, but in your face.
And right once a year as well.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often. I don't know why people get so upset when it does happen, but they do, and it's quite funny.
John, go on then. Can you be a bit more positive than that?
Well, not if I tell you what I put in the prediction league, because I put 2-1 West Ham, and I am leading between the four of us. I am the top out of us at the moment.
That's a pretty low bar, John.
It is a low bar, admittedly.
I was flying at the start of the season, and then I missed a round, and now I'm struggling to get.
Yeah, me too. Well, I didn't miss a round. What I did was I predicted the scores after the round had been, and
got it wrong.
The scores wrong, which is a talent in itself, and shows you how in touch I am with other teams. If you would like to
Speaking of other
take part,
teams, Arsenal have just won 3-0, or we're winning 3-0.
3-1 actually. They're winning 3-1. If you would like to join the prediction league, if you would like to get involved with all things Cheese Room, we do run a fantastic patron service. I'm sure there's some patrons in the room, but it's just £3 a month, which is less than a pint at the new stadium, significantly less now. The prices have gone up, no less. And you get entrance to competitions. I think the last prize we gave away was a signed Jimmy Greaves photo, and we've got more giveaways this year. Fantasy football, predict the score, match day chat, and various other benefits, including coming soon some exciting merchandise, T-shirts and mugs when Franco eventually gets around to organising it. Cheers, Franco. And it's just £3 a month. Details are in the ticker at the bottom of the screen. So please do go and have a look at that and join us if you feel. We would love your match day company if you are watching along tonight. So John,
you are saying this is not much, £3 a month, but £3 is a weekly wage in the north where you are, no?
I mean, that joke was good. However, do you realise how far north Shan is?
I have not been to her house yet. Of course, she has asked many times, but I have not been there yet. I will find out at some point.
Very north.
She will be a changed lady.
Beyond the wall is what.
It's not beyond the wall. Come on. I'm miles away from the wall.
Shan.
You're miles away from everything.
East Midlands.
Winter's coming.
I'm not even North East Midlands either. I'm quite South East Midlands.
I don't know how you're justifying this. You're about 100 miles north of me.
No, I am not.
You are.
What the hell? This is the Arctic Circle then.
You are. Vlad, score prediction if John's not good. If John and HG are predicting doom and misery and Shannon's doing a usual sitting on the fence.
53 miles from Crick.
That's a long way. It's a good hour's drive.
53 miles from what? I am mishear you.
I don't want you to come see me. Vlad, what's the score going to be?
I think HG, although he is a miserable twat, he has some points that it will be tough at their stadium, and their fans have microphones to get the sound to the pitch. It will be a big atmosphere and a tough game. I think perhaps we will win 6-0.
And I'm going to say I was probably a little bit negative in my prediction in the prediction league this week. I said the 3-1 defeat, but I'm going to turn that around now and say we're going to win 2-1. And do you know what? Eric Dyer's going to roll back the years and score the winning goal. How's that for optimism? You can't get much more optimistic than that, can you?
I'm feeling a stirring in my trousers.
I think Harry Winks might come on and score a late winner, you know.
What?
He might get near the squad.
Bloody hope
makes me so angry you even mention his name. And while we're talking about anger, I listened to the audio pod this week, the Cheese Room podcast, the original Cheese Room podcast, available on Spotify and Apple Music. Please do get over there and download it. It's a very good listen. But there was one of the Cheese Room that was more animated than the others. in our defeat to Vitesse Arnhem. Is that right?
Vitesse.
No,
But
Vitesse
yes,
Arnhem.
it is
We've
correct.
literally told you 60 times how to say this, caller.
One
Yeah,
for each year of your life.
V8.
So I'm going to hand over to HG while I go and recharge my beer, and you can tell us about your little rant on the podcast and share your thoughts on the game, HG.
Look, my rant, it's such a small thing, really, but I don't know why we took as many kids as we did. We didn't need to do it. I don't think it really matters. It's what an extra day of preparation of the first team, like training together instead of maybe playing in a game. I don't get it. I thought it was a risk. You don't have to start all of your best players in every game, obviously, but you should at least have some of them on the bench just in case the 11 that our second choice don't come through. And that's what happened. We didn't have anyone on the bench to come on and change it. So if you're not going to do that, then why bring the kids anyway? It was like the worst school trip outing ever, because you basically went to Holland for 24 hours. You couldn't have any fun. You got to watch football rather than playing it. It just seemed Spurs haven't learned. You know, we did this with AVB, we did this with Pochettino, and we're doing it again. Good teams rotate. They don't have a first 11. They might have a best 11, the team that you'd expect them to play against the really good teams, but they don't, you know, they don't play that team every single week. And for some reason, Spurs just seem to think that once you've got your best team, you have to play them every week. And you don't have to. You have to decide to kind of, you know, you have to rotate once in a while, or maybe two players every single game if you can. Even West Ham have done it. The team that beat Everton was probably their best team, and the team that beat Genk in the Europa League, which apparently is a more difficult competition than the one we're in, had 5 outfield players. I think they made 5 changes in the outfield 10, and so they only had one player who played 90 minutes in both. And he's not usually their first choice. So it just seems I don't understand why Spurs seem unwilling to do that. We should find a way of saying, right, we might know what our best 11 is, but we could decide. West Ham away is a game where you play your best 11. Get it. Vitesse away is a game where you can't afford to not play any of your best 11, and we proved that. I'm bored of watching Spurs make life difficult for themselves when they just didn't need to. And we weakened ourselves out of our own choice in the hope that we can get something on Sunday. If we do, you can maybe sit there and say it was worth it. But if we don't, then it's just been a massive cock-up.
HG, I'm turned off after the first 30 seconds of your end. But I think the point you are making is that Holland is not a long way away, no? You can get to Holland quicker than you can get to, say, the north of England, where the caller lives. And yet, when we are go to Leeds and play football, we are not leave the team behind because traveling is so bloody hard for them. So I do not understand why Nuno is not. Sorry, I was distracted by John's pussy. Why Nuno is not take some of the team because it's crazy. They are not going to get jet lag on a flight to Holland.
Yeah, no, I don't get it. I mean, I see Dave says it was no big deal. We lost to Antwerp last season. Well, great. Well, we won the FA Cup in 1981. Should we talk about that as well? It's irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant.
If you're Dave, that's all
right
you want to talk about, isn't it? Things that happened in 1980 something.
Probably. I mean, just before you were born, Caller. Maybe you just sneaked in. I don't understand what happened then. We got okay with it. We now have to beat both Vitesse and Rennes at home to finish top of the group. And you know,
but
I don't think
if we are qualified, will you look back and say I am happy we are in the knockout stages, but we did lose to McVitie's? No, you will not give a shit.
I do think we'll make the top 2, but finishing first is very important. Like if we suddenly have another bad result and we don't beat Vitesse, then suddenly, you know, it's not in our hands anymore. And that it shouldn't need to happen. Like it's a relatively difficult group for the Conference League, but you know, we've made it harder for ourselves by being probably a little bit arrogant. We probably overestimated our squad players and we underestimated Vitesse. It was the game that defines their Conference League campaign. If they'd lost last night, they'd basically be out of the competition. And we just thought, oh no, we'll send over the kids for a jolly. It's like of all the teams that probably should know better, it's Spurs. Because if there's any team that manages to find a defeat where they shouldn't, it's Spurs. And yet we seem to be just okay with it on the idea that, well, we've got a better chance of beating West Ham now. Why? Why do we have a better chance? Because some of their players played 65 minutes against a Belgian team? I don't get the logic. Win every game, get the confidence up, get everyone playing well, like work together as a team. Don't split everyone up. It's just there's no logic to it. Where's the togetherness? Where's the unity in deciding to do that? Fine, it happened. But I said before the game I thought it was ridiculous, and we lost. So I was proven right, and it still is ridiculous. You don't do that. The best teams don't do that.
Okay, let's go to a few comments, and then I'll just get the views of Shannon.
Is this how you shut him up? You say, let's look at comments.
No, I just pressed mute. To be honest, it's no big deal. Also, I think Nuno rolled the dice because he really needed the time of the first 11, given the disruptions he's had. Not saying he's right, but I can understand his approach. Dave, no big deal. We lost to Antwerp last season and topped the group. Okay. Feel sorry for Nuno, though, as he's just trying to get consistency for his team. There have been so many interruptions and internationals. That's true, isn't it, HG?
Well, yes, it was true in September. It's not so much consistency from your team. Like if they've not played with each other, then how are they going to get consistency? Like the idea of you're not going to have any consistency if you drop 11 for a game you've decided it's okay to lose. Like if you all the good teams, they build that consistency by rotating 3 or 4 players. They don't do it from dropping 11 and saying, you guys get a night off. You go and watch Married at First Sight Australia with 7, the gang. It's nonsensical. It's absolutely, and yet people defend it. And we lost, and they're still defending it. Because it seemed a good idea on paper. It's never been a good idea on paper. Spurs have proven that. I don't have to look at other clubs. Spurs have proven it, and yet we're still thinking, well, West Ham's a more important game. Yes, it is more important, but it's actually quite important to win games. I think that's the most important thing. Let's win every game.
I'm a very angry man. I think I will send Svetlana around to your house to make you feel
I'm angry at idiots. That's what I'm angry at. Like, look at the evidence, people. Seriously.
But the world is full of idiots. You will spend your whole life being angry if you are angry at idiots.
Yeah, it does appear that way. Yes, that's probably why I'm a teacher. So I try to avoid that and I try to make sure that the world has less idiots.
Good.
Because school children are never idiots or stupid, so it must be
but they're 12, right? Instead of adults. So kids can be idiots at times. That makes sense, right? I expect that, but I don't expect it from grown people who just look at the evidence, guys. It's out there. It's not difficult. If I can spot it, it's not difficult.
Well, this game is all about opinions.
Does it matter? If we are qualified, does it matter? We look back, say, hey, it was a bad result, but we are qualified, so who gives a shit? I think you are going to give yourself a corona if you carry on like this.
And if you think it doesn't matter, well, that's why we don't win stuff. Because we treat things as if they don't matter.
This is why Vlad has no say in anything. He has less say than you have, which is close to bugger all. So it is not a problem. I don't care. It will be okay.
Yeah, it might be okay. It might be. Not if we drop 11 again, it won't be.
Hang on. You two. I've got to get to I want to hear what Shannon and John have got to say. So Brian's here, Brian Ireland, friend of the pod. Hi, Brian.
We lost.
How you doing?
Yeah, we lost.
It was the right decision. Hang on, because he's followed that up with several of the statements. It wasn't the kids. 9 internationals in that team.
I'm not. Do people? No, wait a second. Do people not understand what rotation means? Rotation means you keep 4 or 5 of your best players in the side. We didn't do that.
Around, yes,
we didn't do that. I just
spin me around like a record. This is rotation.
HG, just take a breather. Just breathe. Shan, tell me your view.
I thought it was fucking horrendous.
But it's good because we might win on Sunday, Shan. What are you talking about? It's all better
if we don't win, then that's an absolute travesty because he's done it for no reason.
But I can sit here now and say it was the right decision.
I agree with HG. If we want to win in mentality, why are we deciding it's okay to lose a game by playing 9 internationals, but a side that contained a midfield of Dele Alli and Harry Winks with Giovanni Lo Celso, none of whom can defend. I mean, it's an absolute joke. Like an absolute joke. We're playing a 17-year-old at centre forward. Daniel Levy is at fault for that because we haven't signed a backup striker. We'd have been better off keeping Vinicius for another season, just to play in the Conference League if that's what we were going to do. But no, we've got no one. That's something that seriously needs to be addressed in January. I mean, Bergwijn obviously played. I can't remember. And obviously Hill. That's the right decision to play those two.
Yeah. Dele.
Yeah,
they were the wrong way around, though, weren't they?
Dele's stats, by the way.
Go on. Tell me about Dele's stats.
I'm just
0.
look them up.
0. Everything was 0.
Pretty much 0 for everything. Bear with me. Just one moment.
If we want internationals to play for Tottenham, let's sign David Nugent. He's an international. It means nothing.
Dele Alli versus Vitesse. 90 minutes, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 key passes, 0 shots on target, 0 dribbles, 0 tackles, 0 interceptions, 0 clearances, 0 blocks, 0 fouls, 1, 0 crosses, 0 out of 1 long balls, 0 out of 8, 0 out of 8 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 1, 2 fouls committed.
Consistent.
Consistently shit, HG. That is absolutely disgusting.
No, but Shan, he's an international, so it doesn't matter. He's got
to
be good.
He was an international.
He's not.
Yeah, but that's the point. He was.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, you just don't do that. You don't. We at least needed to play one of Højbjerg or Skip in that midfield just to give it a little bit of something. I think that was a big mistake, a really big mistake from Nuno to do that. You'd have been better off playing Niall John in the midfield. Honestly, you would have.
Well, look, what I'm going to say to you now, we're going to continue this debate. There's 94 people watching, 40 likes. Let's get to 100 likes, please, guys. I want to hear Vlad. I want to hear Vlad's dulcet tones singing whatever song it was that was put in the run sheet. And Vlad never lets a crowd down.
Vlad never lets an individual down either.
Or
Vlad is always fantastic.
This is it.
You ask Becky, she will tell you.
HG has a point, but it still ain't that big a deal.
Yeah, let's stay being second rate.
Why do we have a 25-player squad if you're talking about playing the same 11?
I'm not.
That's not what you're advocating.
Oh my gosh. No, rotation doesn't mean playing the same 11 every game. Playing the same 11 every game is what Spurs do, and it doesn't work because they get knackered by the end of the season. It's just mental. Like they have it in their mind that somehow this is the right thing to do. AVB did it and it wasn't. Pochettino did it and it wasn't. We basically gave up domestic trophies because Pochettino had his best 11 and he didn't want to play them in cup games. I don't know what people are watching. I really don't. The evidence, sadly, backs me up.
Yeah, really poor performance.
Not to mention, it's pissed off then the second string players as well because they now feel separate to the first 11. So it's not very good for team morale. It's not good for the dressing room.
John,
I'm enjoying very much watching HG getting all out of place. It is very funny for me. I have missed this very much.
Yeah, it sounds awful. If you do it on Football Manager, you lose games. Like I don't. It's just so insanely stupid. I have no time for it. I have no time for it.
John, please can you tell HG you think this is okay? Because I want to see him go again.
Before we come back to that, there's a super chat been sent in by Faz. Should we send Dele on loan or sell for any fee? I'm not quite sure about the any fee bit. Let's just debate this, go around the room quickly. John, I'm going to start with you because you've been drowned out by HG mainly. Go for it.
Who's going to take him? Honestly,
he has been for 50 million.
They won't fucking take him, man. That's stupid. They will not. No one's going to take him, are they? Seriously, PSG's our only chance.
Potch remembers the good old days. Maybe a go on loan or something.
But he was shit for Potch in the end. He didn't turn up for Potch either towards the end.
Yeah.
Well, Vlad.
I think Dele is very much a player in a single position. He is not a versatile player, and I think if you are not play a system that suits Dele Alli, he will look very bad. And I think the only way that he gets his mojo back is to play for a team that plays in the style that suits him. And I do not know who this team is that would take him. I think it would be a good thing for him to go on loan and play some football and find some of the magic that he still has in his boots. But I do not know where he could go.
No.
West Ham, perhaps.
HG?
What? I wanted to answer the question I saw in the comments. It's from, is it Mr. Azzi? I don't know how to say that. Yeah, Galini in goal, Tanganga at right back, probably Romero and Rodon at centre half. Left back would have been Davis. So there are not too many changes there. Midfield, Dan said it has to be one of Skip and Højbjerg. I probably would have played Skip if I'm honest, but Skip and Lo Celso and that's a tough one after that because you probably needed 3 in midfield and we don't have too many midfielders. Probably Winks, let's face it. And then a front 3 would have been Dele and Bergwijn and Brian, but I'd have played Bergwijn and Brian on separate sides and I would have kept the wingers wide, which we never do. So not too many changes, but not too many to keep in the side, but still a functional side, not just the 10 outfield players who didn't play on Sunday, which it seems to be what we did. It's like, well, you haven't played, so you can go and do it. You've got like individuals. I think we have better individuals than Vitesse. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But Vitesse had a team. They had a system that they played, and we didn't have a functional 11 out there, which is why we got run over, frankly.
And in terms of the question, should we sell Dele or send him on loan?
Look, if someone wants him, I could see it happening. But as John said, I don't see anyone wanting to pay. Like, I mean, what's the amount that we say yes, we do? Like, is it 15 million? Is it 20 million? Like, do we think we can get more because he's homegrown? Who are we selling to? I don't know any teams in the Premier League that would pay more than 25 for him right now. So I think that we've got him and we have to make the best of it. Maybe Newcastle would want a loan, but like, what's in that for Dele? You know what I mean? Like he just ended up probably looking even worse there because their team is worse than ours. I said on the pod last night, we have a lot of players who need a platform to perform, and we don't have enough players that are that platform. When we talk about that 16-17 side, we had Wanyama, we had Dembele, we had the Belgian centre halves. That was the platform. We had the high press. That was the platform, and it allowed people like Eriksen and Dele, who got worse when the platform fell apart, to do what they did so well. But we don't have enough of a platform. And so, like, if Dele goes somewhere else, I don't know. Like I've said before, I think that Dele is actually a pretty good fit for what Liverpool do, but then Liverpool have the platform. So maybe they might say, yeah, we'll take the punt. But Liverpool don't need to take punts. So I don't see anyone coming in for him outside of Poch because Dele is one of his players.
Again, I think my hitting is bad, Steve, but there are many punts in Liverpool, no?
I'm not an expert on Liverpool, Vlad. You tell me more about that.
Shan.
No, but I am wanting to answer a comment from Gav, who says that McVitie's are also used the dark arts. I think this is true. I think that they are used the dark arts, and the German referee, who perhaps is a friend of yours, HG, is give them all the help they are need. I think there are some very poor decisions by the referee. I do not think that Super Dave Sanchez makes a foul, let alone a booking. And of course, young Dane does not make a foul and is not a booking. But he is happy to wave the cards at the Tottenham all day long and allow Vitesse to get away with whatever the fuck they want. I do not think this is help. I am not blaming the referee before you are jump onto this HG for the performance, because the performance is poor. But it does not help. These things are not helping the team to get over the line in a game which, frankly, they should have won quite easily. Even with the squad they are sent out there, we should have won that game.
But why is that? Why should we have won? Because we have better individuals? Because the team's not better, clearly.
I do not know that I agree with you. I think on the night they were not better, but I think that the unit should be playing better than it did. The big mistake is to not have any way of changing this. This is the big mistake. This is where you are bend Nuno over and smack him on the bottom and say, do not do this again. But it has taken you 2.5 hours to say this.
Yeah, I like. Yeah. So, what's your point? I've still said it
many times.
Yeah, exactly. Because people keep on questioning it. I don't know why. You don't question it. You know it.
Because it is funny to watch you go off your tits when people are questioning you.
Yeah.
It is like a game.
And if you enjoy watching
it's fun for me too.
If you enjoy watching HG go off his tits, there's a couple of things you can do. You can follow him. His Facebook page, the Harlow Globetrotter, is available, where he posts his team lineups every game. So do have a look at that. And you can also if you want to trigger him, just keep sending the chat through, and I'll keep poking him like a bear all day long. Some players peak, or I'm reading this out because Silent Dove is a channel member. Thank you for your support, Silent Dove. Some players peak too soon, or just peak and can never repeat that again. And I think that's what's happened to Dele. Shan, do you think that's what Dele peaked too soon?
I think Dorso makes a good point in the comments. This one, we have a decent defensive platform now, but Dele played off Eriksen, and he's never played well since Eriksen went on the go slow. His dwindling form does coincide with when Eriksen decided he wanted to leave and just chucked his tools out the window.
Yeah,
and thought, "Fuck it, I ain't doing my thing anymore." So.
I don't think we have the defensive platform now either. Last night proved it, but there you go.
I think it was when Dembele went. When Dembele stopped, when he got injured, I think that's when Dele stopped playing, really.
There are plenty of reasons.
Can I ask something which I think is very important at this stage? We have talked much about the game, but what I really want to know is, John, why is the shirt all wonky in the background?
He has got a bit wonky.
No, it's just slipped down, I think. So my wife framed by the collar. No, I can't afford it. My wife moved it.
Your wife moved it?
My wife moved it because she didn't want it in when she sat here for her office meeting call the other day. She was a bit embarrassed, she told me.
How rude.
Yeah, she's got a point after last night.
That's signed by the first team. Oh no, is that your bar one?
That's my bar one. My bar staff gave that to me.
Beautiful. Well,
it's signed by all of the cheese room, yes?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Do you know what? Something signed by all the cheese room would go for a lot of money. Even Caller would approve of the amount of money that would go for.
Perhaps. We once did send a signed flag to someone who asked for one. So
That's
maybe
true, we did. Yeah.
We actually did. Maybe we'll give away a signed Tottenham shirt for Christmas. We'll see. We'll see how deep the cheese room coffers will stretch. Franco, if you're watching, let me know. Who is the treasurer? Well, I mean, there's so many comments to get through here. Do you see anything that tickles your pickle, HG?
What, the comments or what?
Yeah, there's just so many comments.
I think this one probably refers to my Facebook. I don't know. It had that because those were the players that went, not because they were the players that I would have taken. So that's why it was like that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not to do with that because Markandé and Scarlett, I definitely didn't ask for that. I'm done talking about Vitesse. If we beat them in 2 weeks, it probably won't matter as much. But we didn't need to be in that position where we have to beat them.
Well, I mean, do you think with this competition, Shan, that we're going to easily qualify? Do you think it's going to be a walk in the park? I mean, we don't generally do anything easily, Tottenham Hotspur, do we? But it could go down to the Ren game, certainly to see who tops the group. Could it not?
Yeah, it should be a walk in the park, but this is Spurs, so it won't be.
Yeah, I think the only way we finish top of the group is by winning the last 3 games. And, we've got the 2 difficult teams at home, so it that can happen. But we're probably going to have to play a better side than the team that played last night to do it. So as long as we don't have West Ham away at the end of November, then I guess it's possible. It's just, yeah.
Don't we have Liverpool at the end of November?
I think Liverpool is just before Christmas. But there are always big games.
Yeah.
There are always big games.
It's December the 19th, I believe, or Sunday. I can't make it, unfortunately. Surprising. Yeah.
So
it is interesting now, though, because when we are get to the Europa Conference, whatever we are want to call it, everybody is saying it is Mickey Mouse. We do not care. Play the kids. If we go out, we go out. Who gives a shit? And now everybody is having babies over this. What is the change? Why is it suddenly an important thing?
No, I think probably it's only me that's having babies over it, and most people don't care. But I do. I want Spurs to win every game. That's it.
I think
you are
actually,
a very caring man, HG.
I'll be really
about you.
I'll be really honest with you. I actually, although I don't vocalise it very often, I feel the same as you, HG, because it was foolhardy, in my opinion, to send out a squad without anyone on the bench from that team that won at Newcastle. Just bonkers. You need some game changers there. Look at the Mura game. We only played when Son and Kane came on for 20 minutes, killed the game. You need that. You need that on the bench. Like, whoever the opponent is, you should have the ability to change the game from the bench. That's the issue for me. Not the starting 11, because quite frankly, that's all right. You know, I was quite happy with the starting 11. No issues there at all. I could not argue with it. But the fact that there was just youth team players on the bench, basically, is negligent by Nuno. And I get people saying it doesn't matter. We're gonna qualify anyway. And we probably will, but we've made it harder for ourselves than it needs to be. And I don't see that it's a big deal putting Son on for 20 minutes or Kane on for 20 minutes. It really wouldn't be. If anything, it could breed them some more confidence.
Yeah, you can just look at the West Ham situation. Their Europa League group, they've won 3 out of 3. They're 6 points clear at the top of their group. 1 victory and they're through. Right, and it's done after 4 games. Like, we had a difficult Conference League group, I mean, even though it's still the Conference League. Like, Rennes are a decent side. They beat PSG. Vitesse are no mugs, as we found out. But, yeah, it doesn't have to be this difficult. And every year we manage to make it this way. You know, we lost to Antwerp last year and we didn't need to do that. We lost to Vitesse last night. Nothing's going to change. Right? And we have to start changing things if we want to be where we want to be.
I am not sure if I have walked into some kind of alternate universe, but I think what has happened is the caller, HG and Vlad have agreed. This is unprecedented. This is something to celebrate, no?
Absolutely.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. How about this one? The conference is not a major European trophy. So I tell you, I saw an interesting post on Twitter this week, and I'm going to ask the Cheese Room this. Would you rather win the Europa Conference or the League Cup? Sharon, over to you. Let's go with it. Let's go around the room.
Oh, I'd rather win the conference than the League Cup.
In fact, I'll give you an extra choice. Finish in the top. Finish 5th or 6th.
Yeah, I'd rather win the Conference League than finish 5th or 6th.
Okay.
But I'd rather finish top 4 than win the Conference League.
I think everyone would this. Okay, now I'm glad you added that on. Let's keep that in the mix as well. HG, your view, and on the top.
Yeah, to be fair, it's a good question, caller, because you get the same thing no matter what. If you win the Conference League, you get Europa League, and if you win the League Cup, you
don't get the League Cup.
No, there you go.
Wrong man, HG.
So there you go. So then the answer is clearly that you're to win the Conference League because it gets Europa League.
What about top 4?
What about top 4? Oh yeah, no. I'd always much rather have top 4 than a meaningless European trophy, as it was called. I just like the only way to improve is to play the best teams. That's it. We want to improve. As awful as it sounds, winning the Conference League, does it really improve Spurs? I don't know.
I just want to call Dave Harris out on this because I enjoy telling people when they're wrong. Dave, unfortunately, it doesn't get you in the Europa League now. It gets you in the Europa Conference. So maybe you could drop us a comment with your reconsidered view. John, your view on this? Put that view.
The same as Shannon and AG. I think Conference League ahead of the League Cup and top 4 ahead of the Conference League.
Good stuff. And Vlad?
Vlad is going to take a slightly longer time on this because I enjoy the sound of my voice. But when we go back to 1984, there are 3 European trophies. There are the European Cup, the Cup Winners' Cup, and the UEFA Cup. The UEFA Cup is the third of all the trophies, and we are win this and we'll celebrate for maybe 20 years on this. So why is the third European trophy now seen as a Mickey Mouse Cup? I think you are unfair. If we are win in Europe, this is a fantastic achievement. A club like Tottenham should always be in Europe. I think Big Bill is say this, and without Europe we are nothing. I understand this. We must win the Europe Conference League Cup, whatever the hell it is called, and it does put us in a better position. But I am a greedy man. I want to win this. I want to win the League Cup, and I want to finish 4th all at the same time. One is never enough for Vlad.
Well, interesting.
In more ways than one, Vlad, eh?
Of course, I'm surprised you know. I have not been to your house yet, but soon, yes?
Don't encourage him. John, after that fantastic performance, or not such fantastic performance on Thursday night, where does GLC stand now in the claim for a first team spot? Because he's sort of been lauded playing for Argentina. A lot of people talking about, he's the answer to some of our midfield creativity issues. And yet he was terrible.
That's because he was alongside Dele and Harry Winks. That's a simple answer. With Skip and Højbjerg, I think was he a better player by a long way.
Are you trying to say that the team is more important than the individual, John?
Well, I don't want to be controversial, HG, and get you going again.
Oh, please, I have a message on the Facebook from Mr. David Strapon who says, keep going, HG's head will explode.
Well,
I agree with what John said there. Obviously, I want to see Giovanni Lo Celso either on the left of the midfield 3 or playing slightly more advanced with decent players around him. We can't judge Giovanni Lo Celso playing in a midfield of Dele Alli and fucking Harry Winks. Come on. He needs to be given a chance.
You've already said how bad Dele was. Winks was worse. So Lo Celso was the only player in the midfield trying to do anything.
Let's talk about Winks then, as I know we all want to.
I did put Harry Winks on the run sheet because I knew you'd really want to talk about it. So
Harry Winks' latest interview. But the honest answer is, Shan, I've not seen it. And that's not an Arsene Wenger. I genuinely haven't seen it. So what did he say?
To be honest, I haven't watched it either. But it was something along the lines of he wants to have a chat with Nuno. He's not happy about the amount of first-team football he's getting. He thinks they should have played better, but it's hard because obviously they changed the whole 11 and that can affect morale and all this bullshit. Yeah, basically. That was the gist of it.
So he went full Danny Rose then, basically.
Pretty much called out the club, yeah.
Beautiful. Vlad, what's your opinion on the boy Winks? Should he play for Spurs again?
I think that that the problem with Harry Winks goes back a long time for when he has the bad injury. I think before this he is a fine player, and even Nicola will not say bad things about him. But he has never recovered. He has never been the same. I'm just see Shan's bedroom. I am very distracted by this. I love very much the wallpaper. The hands on the wallpaper would be a beautiful thing. And I am back to Harry Winks. I think that he's not the player that he should have become. I think the injury has changed him. He's not. He does not have the combat anymore. And I think he probably does need to go somewhere else. He could do a good job at one of the South Coast clubs. John can go and see him every week. And perhaps it is time for Winks to leave.
To be fair, I am literally 2 miles from Bognor Regis town, so he'd do well there.
You are go to Butlins many times, and there is a big Butlins there. I remember a sex party at Butlins many years ago.
Caller was due to go recently, but he got the COVID, so it didn't happen.
To the sex party?
Yeah.
No, they don't do that now anymore.
They are closed down when he walks in the doors.
They don't do them anymore, I don't think.
It's definitely your scene,
Everybody in the Lucas colony is put their clothes on and leave.
Definitely your scene. I agree with Vlad. I think you'd enjoy it.
Beautiful. Harry Winks, HG, you're the voice of reason normally.
Well, look, if Lo Celso gets judged because he's playing with bad players, Can we say the same about Dele and Winks too? I mean, to throw that out there. Like,
well, no, because
Winks...
Dele played bad when he was playing with good players.
No, but this is what I'm saying, right? Like, Dele's had the opportunity to play with good players, but Winks hasn't for a while. Lo Celso hasn't for a while. Like, when does that stop? Like, at some point, you make a judgment based on what you see rather than what the other team can do. I don't know, but Winks has to go. But it's similar to Dele. Like, where's he gonna go? Who's going to spend money on someone that can pass the ball 10 yards sideways? A lot of players can do that, really. They're not going to invest money in someone else to do that. So, yeah, maybe if they need a homegrown player. I mean, it's one of those stupid things. People laughed at the whole, Harry Winks to Man City rumour. But if Fabian Delph can get signed by Man City, then why not Harry Winks? If they need a homegrown number, a guy that can come in and play 15 games a season and basically just pass the ball to a better player, Harry Winks is not a bad person to have, but sadly, Spurs aren't. We don't have the strength that Man City do, so he can't do that role for us anymore. It's a weird one because I don't know where the exit will come. I really don't. Maybe to a Spanish side. I mean, we saw those rumours too last summer. I don't know.
When Winks played with good players, he let the Lanzini equaliser happen. It was him that didn't close down, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah,
it was Lo Celso I was talking about, though, not Winks. I think Vlad made a really good point, though. That injury that Winks got at Burnley, he was playing really well until that point, and he's never come back.
Sadly, I don't think Winks is PL level anymore. Do you think? I think he would improve any side. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. My God, the guy needs to go. And the sooner the better. I'm going to stick.
No, you have to have another 4 years of this, like I did with Lamella. It's the only fair way.
Oh, you can't compare Harry Winks and Eric Lamella.
Oh, come on!
Of course I can. They're both shite.
You
Lamella
can't.
was so much better than Harry Winks.
Eric Lamella did more for Spurs than Harry Winks did.
100%.
Well, yeah, okay, but again, that's a super low bar. They're both not good enough. Like, where is the bar? Is if you're better than Harry Winks, you can play for Spurs for 10 years. Then sorry, no. Eric Lamella stayed 5 years too long.
I think the bar is if you are better than Jason Dezelle, you can play for Spurs for 10 years. I'm waiting for the call.
Shout out to Paddy. Too many times Spurs fans have said, give him a chance. Dele Winks needs to be sold in January. They're not good enough anymore. I don't think there's anyone who disagree. The only thing I might say is January might be probably not the best time to sell them. I think it'll be a summer move. But
can I just say, I'm very upset now that I chose to get Dele on my away shirt rather than Reguilon. I knew I should have got Reguilon and not Dele.
It's a terrible choice.
It was a very bad. Maybe I'll have to buy the third kit just to get Reguilon on one.
It's a terrible choice. Wow. If you buy that third kit, that just proves that you literally have no fashion sense whatsoever. Because honestly, that kit...
Caller, I bet you still wear bootcut jeans. Don't start with me.
What kind of jeans are we supposed to wear?
Oh, you do wear bootcut jeans.
Straight
That's
leg.
Horrible.
Straight leg. Definitely not skinny. Only skinny people.
He's the only one she can get around his bottom.
I see so many fat people in skinny jeans, and I always think, what the fuck are you doing? Like, your skinny jeans, the clue's in the name. Don't wear skinny jeans if you're fat. So if you're watching this, you own a pair of skinny jeans. But that's not why they're called
skinny jeans.
No, but they look... I know it's not HG, but they look terrible. That's the point.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Perhaps just buy a mirror. This will solve the problem.
Oh, my God.
What's wrong with you, Shan?
Come here.
Has he got the third away shirt on or something?
Come.
What have you done, Jack?
Come here.
What have you done, Jack? What's going on, Jack?
Come here. Come here.
Come on, Jack.
Say hello.
Hello. How are you? It's nice day, yes.
Jesus Christ almighty.
Why do you have Jason Voorhees in your house?
Don't ever criticise my dress sense when you live with that.
I hope you're not talking to Jack there, caller.
I have seen Svetlana look like this on many occasions.
I'm a huge Dele supporter over the years. Can't defend him anymore. Shout out to I wonder how drunk he is right now, Mr. Diver. How many beers has he had?
It's a Friday night. He's very drunk, clearly.
Fashion tips for the
Well, it's $3.5 grand
catch
bottle
the
of
rest of them,
champers.
Brian, on my other channel. Yeah. I saw a question earlier, and we'll get into it. Reguilon, I've seen a lot of Twitter nonsense, as I would call it this week. I mean, most of the stuff on Twitter is nonsense. There it is. Is Reguilon off? Just spin this round a little bit. John, what are your thoughts on this, mate?
Well, it's going to be up to him, isn't it? If they want to invoke the 25 million buyback clause, it's up to him if he wants to go or not.
45 million, isn't it? I think.
I thought it was 25, but
that's what we bought him for.
Okay, right. But if they want to invoke it and they can afford it, which is the key, because I'm pretty sure they're skin, aren't they? It'll be down to whether he wants to go.
There you go.
I mean, he seems happy, doesn't he? He does seem to love the club.
I think.
Don't they want to sign Mbappe for? Didn't they want to sign Mbappe for ridiculous amounts of money though? So they've got it, haven't they?
Well, they've got the King of Spain normally backing them, haven't they, HG?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that his buyback clause, however, is conditional on him agreeing to it, isn't it?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
It has to be.
I mean, yeah. I think it's a case of what we bought him for 30 million euros, and they can buy him back for 45. So we'd loan him for 2 years and make a profit, which Levy might be happy about. I don't know. I think the question is, how much will he play at Madrid? Really, I mean, you might want to go there, but would you go there and be a squad player? They've got the Lyon, the French guy. Is it Mendy who plays left back? I know Marcelo is obviously pretty old now, so he might be earmarked to replace Marcelo in the squad. But yeah, it's a tough one because he's clearly a Real Madrid boy. I would expect him to want to go back, if I'm honest. If they pay the money, then I think he'll go. But then we'll have 45 million euros to go out and buy 2 players, hopefully, a left back and someone else. So yeah, I don't know. I as much as I would love Reguilon to stay, if he does choose to go, the club doesn't really lose out too much.
I'm surprised you say that, to be honest. On a couple of things, I genuinely think he enjoys his time at the club. You can see that from his social feeds. So I'd be surprised on that basis. And I think there's so much competition and spotlight on at Real Madrid. He can be the main man at Spurs. So I'd be surprised if that is his mind. But Vlad, what's your view on Reguilon? Has he surprised you? He's come good this season, hasn't he? He looks a good player.
I am like him very much. I think he's a fantastic crosser of the ball, and I think the question of is Reguilon off? I know there are strange smells in the dressing room, but I do not think it is such. I think that he's someone that I would not like to see go because what do we do then? We put Ben Davies back in at left back. Will you be happy with this, HG? Ben Davies marauding forward and putting in crosses left, right, and the centre?
No, I wouldn't be, obviously, but it's what you do with it. We're not in control of the situation.
What do you do with Ben Davies? You sell him.
No, I'd keep Ben Davies around, but we're not in control of it.
Smarties.
Sorry?
Sell Ben Davies for £2 and a pack of Smarties. This is a good price.
Yeah, we can have a competition. Which one can we get more for, Winks or Davies? I don't know, but I'm not worried about it because we don't control it. It'll be down to Real Madrid and it'll be down to Reguilon. If it happens, we know what money we'll have, and you hope that Paratici will have people in mind. That there are left backs out there. So I don't know. It could mean a chance for Sessegnon. I mean, I hope it doesn't because I don't rate him. But it's not the end of the world. I don't think so.
Apparently, Ben Davies was blaming the pitch last night. I didn't know that.
Bloody hell! Really?
I mean,
what's his name? Jose Mourinho.
Well, Jose lost.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, he's not a happy
man.
man.
My take on Reguilon first.
Go on.
Because obviously Reguilon is up there in my top 3 favourite Spurs players right now.
He's not that high up there, is he? Because
he's in my top 3.
We chose Dele over him.
Yeah, but I was really, really hoping that Dele was going to be this. I bought that just before the Watford game. Okay. I was really hoping he was going to do something really special, but he just is not going to. But Reguilon, up there in my top 3, obviously, Højbjerg, Sonny and Reguilon, they're men of my own heart. And I'd be gutted if he did go. I'm obviously, if they offer the money, it's not. We don't lose out too much because we get 45 mil and we can sign. Like HG said, sign 2 players. That really bugs me. I really hope we don't do that. I hope we sign 1 very good player rather than 2. But
we could sign another Dele for a lot of money.
No. Actually, do proper scouting this time. Check what they've got up here.
Shan, this is like you have never met Daniel Levy.
Yeah,
this doesn't work.
I can hope.
We'll find somebody with an N at the start of their name who can do nothing.
I can hope that that's what we do. I know we won't, but I can hope. But yeah, no, I don't. I think it's 50-50. I think if we finish relatively strongly at the end of the season, he does love it at Spurs. He sleeps in Spurs pajamas. Come on. Have you seen his timeline picture on Twitter? It's him, and it looks like Hall has edited it. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's so sweet. And he was really happy when Harry Kane stayed. Oh, no, he's just the best guy. He's one of the best guys we've got, like, as in good people we've got in the squad. And I really, really hope he does stay because he's a decent left back as well. And I think he's got a lot more to give. He's still very young.
There you go.
And he's cute. I just want to squish his little cheek.
How upset are you, Shen, when Gazaniga is leave the club?
I wasn't that bothered when Gazaniga left, to be honest.
He's a beautiful man.
She likes curveballs, though, Vlad. We like. She likes Højbjerg. That's her man is Højbjerg. So
Højbjerg is my screensaver as well. Look.
I mean, look at it.
So you are like big, strong, rugged men.
Yeah.
Why are you hanging around with these people then?
She loves Højbjerg. I always think Højbjerg looks like a builder, and she's like, "Yeah, that's exactly my type." So
no, that's not what I say, caller. It's not what I say at all, and I don't think he does look like a builder. My brother's a builder.
I'm sorry, I
and
thought
he's
you say he
ginger,
looks like a
losing his
dildo.
He don't look like he don't. I just like him.
This is okay. No judgment here.
Ever since he squared up to Arteta, that was it. That was me sold. It's like, yes, PEH, come on, go on, boy.
Yeah, and she's pined for him ever since. It's sad. It's sad.
He was the first one. He's on my home shirt.
Wow. At least you got one shirt right, hey Shan.
Yeah, we don't talk about the Dele one.
We don't know. Maybe Højbjerg will turn to shit as well, and it'll be the curse of Shan.
I think Højbjerg's he's got a goal and assist in his last 2 games. He's scored 2 goals this season already. He's doing good.
I'll tell you what, the placement of that last goal he scored was it not Newcastle, Villa. It was a quality strike, that was. He showed he can do it. It surprised even me. I've got to be honest. Surprised me a lot. I'm going to just go do this one quickly around the room. I've run out of beer again. I'm not going to get any more. What do we think of Paratici then? A lot of fans slagging off his choices already. Not me, by the way. Vlad, I'm interested in your take on this. We talked about Paratici a lot on this channel about it's a long-term project. The players he signed look good. What's your thoughts on his transfer business and his general Italianness so far?
I think there is much talk about Paratici, and he's fantastic. He's on the phone all the time. He's trying to set up players. He's do this, he's do that. The other alternative to this is to not do his job, which we have had for many years from Hitchin. So I think Paratici is doing what he's brought in to do. He's looking at some good players. Most of them are, of course, from Italy, because this is what he knows. And I am hope that he will help build some better players. If you look at what he has brought in, Romero, he's good. He's fantastic. Royal, he is okay. I'm warm to him. Galini, not so much sure. He is not a handsome man and not a great goalkeeper. So I am worried about him, perhaps. Bring back Gazaniga. I love him very much. But I think he's doing okay. I think he's doing a good job. We are not going to bring in a superstar tomorrow, but he is doing well. I'm happy. More happy than HT I expect.
No, look, with Paratici, I'm perfectly fine too. I think the players we've bought, we've actually bought, are good prospects. That's what we're going to be going for. That's what we know that. So I think Romero's a quality defender. I'm not upset because it's only been a couple of months anyway. So I don't know. It's I think we have reason to be hopeful because Hitchin is doing less.
Craig says one positive about last night is expose those players to Paratici, leaving no doubt some of them really need to go ASAP. I mean, I would hope that he knows that already, if I'm being really honest, given the evidence of the season so far. But yeah, there's just got to be some massive people, quantities of people out the door. Probably not January, but the summer. It's going to be rebuild phase 2, isn't it, Shan?
Can I just say we've had an awful lot of spammers in the comments. And what an embarrassing fan base they are. None of you wanted to come on here today to actually talk face to face, but you can all come and chat shit in the comments. What even are you? Come on now. Embarrassing.
Kicked 3 people out of the room so far for being knobs.
It's embarrassing. At least when we've had previous, even Arsenal fan, we had an Arsenal fan come here and he talked eloquently and we chatted football. These idiots just want to come on here and insult everyone, and I think it's pathetic. And this is why HG hates West Ham.
I think it's a good thing we didn't get them on because we don't want to see you go all Man City on them.
I'll go Man City on them. If one of them wants to come on here, I'll go Man City on them because I think they're embarrassing, but they're not brave enough to do it. So come on, if you want to come on, do it.
I think it is a terrible shame that they are use the internet and hide behind a fake identity to come in and say bad things to people. You are a disgrace, West Ham fans. Bugger off to your caravans and do not come back.
Anyway, what was the question? Paratici?
Paratici.
It's Paratici.
Paratici.
No.
Anyway, answer the question.
Vitesse.
Answer the question, Shan.
Oh, piss off, Darren. We all know it's the Caravan Cup final. You're
not
irrelevant
our
to
cup
us.
final.
No
My
one
gosh.
cares.
Yeah,
Right.
that just shows how deluded they are if they think it's our cup final. My dear.
Just
Anyway.
wave goodbye to Darren. Bye, Darren.
Thank you for playing.
Paratici.
Paratici.
Fabio.
Paratici. Right, yeah, I think if fans are getting on his back already, it's ridiculous. I've said it many a time, the signings he has made appear so far to be good ones. I think Emerson looks good. Obviously, Romero looks like he could be Rolls-Royce for us. He just needs to be a bit more... Oh, God, I've had too much wine. What's the word I'm looking for? Polished.
Yeah, okay.
Less
Rash.
yeah, less like me, less rash. Jack's distracted with me now, saying he's having a pamper night and it's self-love. But yeah, whatever floats your boat. Anyway, yeah.
Self-love in Vlad's house means something very different to me.
Romero.
Both Nicola and HG had to stop the self-love because they are having to wear glasses now.
Romero obviously looks like he could be a quality signing. God, who else did we sign?
Brian.
Brian.
Brian. Yeah, Brian looks good. He's obviously one for the future. Pape Sarr looks to be having a good season with Metz. And Galini, I still want to see him with an actual competent back four. I think that would really show whether he's going to be good enough or not. But yeah, so far so good. I think he needs a good couple of windows. I've said myself I won't jump on the Levy out wagon until after the summer. If we can try and get a bit more balance to the squad, it's not about spending big. It's about getting in players that we need to make sure that, like a backup striker, which we've all said we've needed for a long time.
Now that is something in January they've got to sort because the workload. It's just shown it's terrible. Like playing, I feel sorry for Dane Scarlett. And I saw a comment I think earlier on from Gov saying he's nearly at the age he can go out on loan. I'm sure he will go out on loan. But it's unfair putting him up top. Although it's a great experience for him, but it's
putting
unfair
too much pressure on him too soon.
Yeah, it's unfair to expect him to bang goals in left, right, and centre in the Europa.
I think we played a front three of Bergwijn, Hill, and Scarlett. None of them have scored a goal this season.
There you go.
Like, it's just, yeah. You need to have someone that can, at least when you're struggling, you want to. I think we honestly went there to try and play for a 0-0. I really do, and it obviously didn't work. It backfired massively. But yeah, Paratici, I don't think we can judge him yet. I think anyone that's judging him now needs to take a look at themselves. I know people see him as Daniel Levy's whipping boy, but I don't think that's the case at all. I think he's actually listened to the fans, if he does ever do that. Brought someone in to try and sort out the football side of the club, but we need to give him some time. We need to give him time to work his magic.
Well, I think what Levy's done is try and take the heat off himself with that appointment, to be honest, rather than doing it because he's listened to the fans.
But he acknowledged that he is shit at trying to sign players, and Steve Hitchen don't like January. So if there's any peace in this at all for us Spurs fans, it's that Steve Hitchen will probably have nothing to do with January, and that Paratici will do it all for us.
But Steve Hitchen will be there holding his notebook and going, every opportunity.
every time Paratici gets a win, Steve Hitchen will be there being his cheerleader, and that's what we want him for.
Every time he goes to the bathroom, he'll be offering to hold it, stand there and hold it. Wow, look at that. Gov, massive super chat. Here, because it's Friday. Also, read Julie Welsh's book, History of Tottenham Hotspur, to see why the rivalry is what it is. Do you know what, Gov? I think we will do that. And thank you again for your amazingly generous support. That is just absolutely incredible, really. Big up, Gov.
Vlad is back for an hour and you have doubled your year's income. This is fantastic.
Silent Dove, I just wanted to do this. A change of pace. A huge congrats to Walter Toll for being inducted into National Football Museum Hall of Fame. HG, maybe you could talk briefly about the pod we did on Walter Toll, and people could look that up, actually.
We did a pod on Walter Toll, and I haven't listened to it. So there you go. I can't tell you much more than that. But somewhere in the history of the Cheese Room podcast, we did a pod on Walter Toll. Sorry, I don't know anything else apart from that. If you haven't been to the National Football Museum, you really should do it. I know it's up in Manchester, but it's a great little museum. Have you been, John, Shan? Have you been there? What about you, Vlad?
Yes, Vlad has been. I have to take an umbrella so I can walk through Manchester, but it is a good place. I enjoy very much. I take Vlad and Vlad Jr. and we are hold the FA Cup and the trophy we will never win for the league title. It was a good place. I enjoy it very much.
I've never been to Manchester.
I do not blame you. It is a shit place.
No, nor have I actually.
Really? I mean, I know a lady who just moved there.
The only good thing about Manchester is it not in the Midlands.
I tell you,
Manchester is north. Manchester's quite far from here.
I know. This is what I am saying. It's not in the Midlands. It is a good thing. You take the Midlands out of England. It is a better country, no?
It doesn't offend me because I only moved here to be with my other half. But yeah. I'm not from the Midlands, so it really doesn't bother me. I do think that this is north. I just, have to defend it a little bit.
And of course, I will not defend Jack because he is in the corner playing with himself, so he is happy.
You're in like Lincolnshire. That's like miles north, isn't it? That's about as north as Manchester, isn't it?
We're not far from the Norfolk border. We're literally 45 minutes from Peterborough. We're not north.
Are you turning into Seb? Living on the Cheshire.
It sounds like Seb.
Yeah. Seb, you live in Stoke. No, I live in the Cheshire borders. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I openly admit we live in Lincolnshire, but we're not. It's not as if we're Hull, which is like up the top of Lincoln. Well, it's not. It's Yorkshire, isn't it? Pretty much, but it's like the top end of the spectrum.
Hull is Yorkshire. It is not pretty much. It is Yorkshire.
No, I
am Russian and I know this. What is wrong with it?
It's just. Hull is Yorkshire, but it's the top. It's the Lincolnshire border. That's what I'm trying to get at. And Mark is right. I am Essex. If anyone could
have some more wine.
I'm running out. I've got work in the morning.
You've run out.
I'm running out. I'm going to have another glass, and then it's probably gone.
How many?
What's Jack for? Go and get Jack on it. Come on.
Yeah.
He has his hands full.
He's on his way to the bathroom. Walter Toll
was a English
up in our 13 knowing, yes?
Huh?
Clean up in aisle 13.
I reckon, yeah.
Walter Tull, English professional footballer, British Army officer of Afro-Caribbean descent. He played in 1909 as inside forward and a half-back for Clapton, Tottenham Hotspur. Honestly, look this guy up if you're not aware of it. First black professional footballer to play for Tottenham at the top level. He also played for Northampton Town, just down the road from me. And honestly, I'll see if we can retweet out the podcast we did, because it's a really interesting one, and people might, educate yourselves. Really interesting and an important part of Tottenham Hotspur's history. And when the museum opens, I'm absolutely sure there will be a good chunk of information about Walter Tull in it. Very interesting stuff, and interesting man. There you go. Well, we've been going for an hour and 45 minutes. Shan's nearly out of wine, so we are going to call it a night, I think. So I just want to thank everyone for watching.
Another glass.
Well, you want to keep going, Shan? You want to keep going?
Down it.
John, thanks for joining us as ever from down south.
That's fine. Thanks for having me. Not like that, though.
No, not like that. God, am I talking to John or Vlad? He's rubbing off on everyone.
Literally.
Doesn't rub off on people.
Talking of rubbing off, Talking of rubbing off, Vlad, thanks very much for coming on, making your Cheese Room YouTube debut. Can you?
The pleasure is yours.
Will you come back on, Vlad? We would love to have you back.
Of course, I enjoy very much upsetting HG, and Shan is a beautiful lady. She is far better than all of you people.
And Vlad, where can the viewers follow you on Twitter and listen to your podcast?
Yes, Vlad has a podcast which you are come on very recent and talk for a long time, lots of shit. It is called Swinging from the Skywalk. I am on the Twitter at Vlad Swings, although I do not say much because Twitter is drive me mad.
We'll tag you in this when we put it out tomorrow morning. So everyone who's watching, get over to our Twitter and you can follow Vlad. And absolutely listen to his podcast, and we will.
Being tagged by the collar is just the epitome of my existence.
Shan, sorry, you've just poured another glass.
Looks like I'm going to have to drink it post-show.
That's all right. We normally sit and chat for a bit, don't we? So yeah,
we can stay around for a while, just the two of us, Shan. Yes.
And HG, as ever, thanks for joining.
Yeah, no problem. Loved it.
We are back on Monday. We've got a packed schedule next week, so we're with you Monday night, as usual, with the Monday night show. Wednesday night we do it Shan show. Sorry, Shan. Episode 6 is moved for a watch along of Burnley, a cold night in awful, Burnley,
isn't it?
Well, everyone.
If anyone wants to join me and be bored with me for this watch along. And join me and John and be bored with me and John to watch Spurs against Burnley away.
I'm definitely going to pop in.
Please do feel free to send me a message on Twitter and we can get it set up. The more the merrier.
Absolutely. Let's make this a Tottenham family watch along. And thanks for watching, everybody, once again. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs!
Come on, you Spurs!
Can you do that again, Adele?
Come on, you Spurs!
Come on,
I'm
waiting for you, HG. Vlad is one to finish last.
Go for it, Vlad.
No, I have not heard HG. I'm waiting.
Come
for
on,
him.
you Spurs!
Thank you very much. Now, come on, you Spurs!